Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Pearls of Innovation, where we talk about the people, processes, and tools behind product innovation. I'm your host, Nolan Myers. My guest today is Brad Taylor, a fractional CTO and startup advisor in health tech and fintech. Today, we're going to talk about an AI-powered workflow for taking meeting notes using Granola and Claude. Brad, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me, Nolan. Excited to be here.
You have a brilliant idea for using Granola and Claude together. Tell me in a sentence, what is the workflow you're using today?
Well, I'm using Granola to record meetings and building a personal knowledge base, and then using Claude to use that knowledge base to its best advantage. So for example, I'm going to show you today a talk that I give every quarter at the UC Irvine, a Java at scale in industry, and how I used Granola to record that meeting and pull meeting notes. And then I can update my presentation using the learnings and the questions asked by students in that meeting.
Cool. I know we're going to get a demo of that in just a minute. Before we dive in, tell me one thing that you stopped doing in your old meeting notes workflow that you're now able to do using this new one.
So in meetings, I used to spend a lot of time on the screen typing notes, what we decided in the meeting, what we had talked about, and it meant I was less focused and less present. And now using Granola, I have it basically taking all the reading notes. I have a spot to put small little things that I come up with, terminology or important items that I want to put up. And then it does a summary of the rest. And I find it very, very helpful. It's taken me away from my Google Docs and focused on the meeting itself.
That's really cool. Well, show us how you have it set up.
All right. Over here on the right, you'll see Granola. This is a transcript from a talk I give every quarter at UC Irvine on Java at scale in industry. And it already has a summary here of that meeting, but you can look down here in the bottom and show the transcript. So it's recording during the meeting and it's showing all the things that are being said during that meeting. Super helpful. And then it uses this transcript to summarize the meeting notes here for me to review later. Super cool. I also have a chat box at the bottom that I can pop into and get basically a prompt. And so, for example, here, I asked, what were the top 10 questions asked by students during my Java at Scale course? And it came up with, here are the questions that were asked. Super helpful and saves me a ton of time. I then connected that to Claude. And so here in my cowork session, you'll see that I asked Claude the same question, what were the top 10 questions asked? It was able to query Granola and pull a list of the top 10 questions. And then because I have my presentation saved in Markdown format using an app called DeckSet, I'm able to have it suggest a few new slides that reflect the questions that were asked.
So you have the best-in-class meeting note taker that allows you to keep your focus during the meeting. And it gives you the ability to query and ask questions for the meeting, but the connection with Claude does something more. It allows you to connect it with the rest of your workflow and the rest of the context of things that you might be working on with Claude, or a connection to final products that you're actually trying to create.
That's exactly right. I've used this connection to write PRDs from a conversation I had with a stakeholder. I've had it write updates to policies when I've had some meetings with compliance staff. And ultimately, as long as the format of file that you're working with is a Markdown file, it's able to do this really, really well.
So show us what you actually did with this then. You connected this with one of your decks, right?
I sure did. Yeah, let me show you here in DeckSet. So basically it generated this Markdown text, what I'd tell my younger self. And then you can see this slide here in DeckSet. It's the last slide it added down here. And the best part of this is it pulled my answers from the Q&A section of the talk. And so these are my words, not just something that the LLM generated.
And to do that in the course of just a few minutes, how do you think that compares with how you would have done this before?
So to be honest, I might not have updated this talk at this moment. So because I was able to do it in just a few minutes, I actually did it during a break between meetings. So it didn't even take up special time and dedicated for this. It's pretty powerful. And now that I'm able to do this, I'm just trying to think about what other ways I can apply this workflow to my work to save me time, make me more effective, and honestly, make the data more accurate.
What's been the biggest surprise about using this workflow?
The biggest surprise has been really turning this into my personal knowledge base and using it as more of a partner rather than an assistant. I'll give you an example. I had a pitch meeting to a client. I'm a fractional practitioner. I do a lot of pitches. It didn't go very well. And I was ruminating about this a couple hours later, walking the dog through the neighborhood. And I actually just decided to ask it. That meeting didn't go very well. What do you think I could have done differently? Expecting nothing. But what came out was actually a pretty thoughtful perspective on maybe if I could have asked this question more differently, I would have gotten a different answer. And so what I loved about it is instead of it just being a demo assistant that stores information, it's now really becoming more of a partner in my business.
Who do you think should be using this?
Everyone. Really anyone where you're in a meeting and you want to be able to take a note so you don't forget, and then use that note in your work should take advantage of it. Especially product managers where you're context switching every single day, all the time, and be able to write all this stuff down is really important. And then I'd use it, for example, to generate PRDs. That's been really powerful in my workflows. But really, anyone can use this and see benefit.
And what are the things that you're excited about how this workflow might evolve in the near future?
I'm really excited about my kind of pairing it with cowork and doing more work in cowork. I'm still exploring what that looks like, having it generate documents. And I'm really seeing most success with generating Markdown. I'd love to see it work better with DocX and PowerPoint, other kind of file types, because the clients they work with often will kind of be living in those environments. I'm also really excited about kind of what can be done in the browser, how much faster we can get over time. Right now, the browser integration is fairly slow. So I'd love to see that improve.
What's one thing you'd tell somebody who's wanting to give this a try tomorrow?
Just give it a shot. Don't hesitate. There's really no downside. Right now, in order to really stay up to date with everything happening in AI, you need to try things constantly. It's always evolving. So don't hesitate. Just give it a shot, see what works, and then continually retest that over time as it improves.
If people want to get in touch with you, Brad, how can they get in touch with you?
oakandco.io. It's oak like the tree and co.io, and as well on LinkedIn.
Great. Well, thanks so much for being with us today, Brad. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Nolan. I appreciate it.